What's up, family? Welcome to Lust. Let us speak our truth. I got Tanya Wade and Vic Townsend on here with me, and we are going to discuss, are you friends with your ex's spouse, current spouse? And also we're going to discuss co-parenting. So my first question, how do you feel about befriending your spouse's ex? Vic, I'll start with you.
I thought ladies was first. I'm a gentleman.
Mm-hmm. He's pointing at you.
Go ahead, Tanya. I'm gonna give you the floor first, Mama.
Actually, it depends
Mm-hmm.
On the relationship. I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of like a hard question to answer. You know,
Like if you
because
are married today, could you befriend your ex's spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever?
yes, I can. I truly can. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason for me to hold any animosity. For her. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she's chosen. And so I have to learn how to let go and live for myself and start my healing process. So I can be her friend. Hopefully she can be mine, but with respect and everything. So
Do you think jealousy or envy or anything like that comes into play with that?
most definitely, because when you look at me, you got a prize, baby. So she gonna hate me, she gonna be a hater. I mean, I just dealt with that ago, where my husband and I were actually separated, and the woman wanted to be me. And I was telling you about the story how she couldn't get to me, so she decided to get to my autistic daughter. It was
Mm.
horrible. And I remember telling her, one thing you cannot get is my beauty, but I can give you a FAFSA application and you can go to school. And so it was like wanted me out of the picture completely,
Right.
So I looked in the mirror and I said, self, I see why she's trying to get you out the picture because you a fine mother. Shut your mouth.
Exactly. I agree with you because it's crazy because I got 3 children and I am very close with all the fathers. Like I'm cool with them. Now, me and my ex-husband, we had a little issue um going in, but I think we came through yesterday at my son's graduation. But my oldest son's father, me and him, we were like college kids, He's cutthroat. We talk to each other like we just talk to each other like, thuggish, ruggish bone. Um, but we're cordial for the kids.
Exactly. And that's really, really important because, the kids didn't divorce you. You know what I mean? The
Mm-hmm.
kids.
That's my next topic. Well, Vic, let me ask you that question.
Good question.
Can you be friends with your ex-wife's spouse?
I wouldn't say friends. I mean, I got enough friends, but we chop it up. I mean, I'm cool. I'm cordial with them. We do small talk even to this day. It was a bitter situation. I actually introduced myself to him. He was actually picking up my son from work, and they had got him a car. They were actually teaching him how to drive, and then I'll teach him how to drive when he comes over here. So he was picking him up from work, and then he was supposed to drive back home. So my son was just kind of like, well, he's not being patient with me. Like, you should be able to do it. You should conquer your fears. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I said, you tell old boy you move at the pace that you're going to move at. And if he don't like it, he ain't got to come get you. Catch an Uber. So one day I called my kid's mom and I said, hey, can you have your husband bring Victor over here? I had made some red beans and rice that night. And Victor said that he was hungry. So I said, have him bring him over here. So he brought him over here. So I walked outside and my son was like, he said, Dad, okay, I'll see you later. I said, no, I'm gonna come over to the car and introduce myself. So once I went over there, I knocked on the window and he rolled down the window about this much. And I said, man, roll the window down, man. And I said, actually open the door. You know what I mean? So he got out. He was a little nervous because you know the background, and he was a little nervous. I can see that he was a little nervous. So I said, we never had a proper introduction. I said, I'm Vic. I know who you are, da, 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 da. Shook his hand, gave him a hug, you know, like the homies hug. And so I loosened it up a little bit. So we just started small talking. So from there, I had called my kids, Mom, I introduced myself to your husband. And she was like, well, how did that go? I said, he's still living. It must have went good. I said, we good. So it was like I said, we had a couple laughs, couple jokes, or whatever. And so and then I actually gave him and my ex-wife some food, right? So I had told them that Victor had some, so I had made them a plate as well. And I said, let me know what you think about it. So he the next time, I think it was the following week, where my baby girl came over, and he was like, oh man, that food was good, da 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 da. So it was like a little small talk like that. Am I ever going to invite him to go see a Rams game? Probably not. When I pull up in the front of his house, it's cordial. Hey, what's up? How you doing, bro? Da 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 da. What's going on? You know, he was talking to me about when I had went vegan for a year. So it's just like a little small talk. I'm cool with it.
What if he invited you over? If he was barbecuing or somebody said, Vic, I want you to come over.
You know, that would be something to think about. Like, because I wouldn't want to go over there because I don't have my people over there. You understand what I'm saying? And then I don't know who his people is. So it'd be kind of like I'd be more on if it was just them and they were like, hey, we getting the kids together and my kids are coming over. Hey, everybody just come through. And if he invited his ex-wife or whatever, okay, that's cool. But if it's like a big gathering, I'd be like, well, you already know I'm about to bring one or two of my partners because I don't know who's going to be at your house and your boys might get to popping off, or, you know what I mean? And you already know I'm going to keep that thing on the hip. So if it goes sideways, it's going to go sideways. So, but having a problem with being cool with him, no, I don't have a problem. But being a friend, I got enough friends. And I don't think that him and I can ever be friends. We can be associates and be cordial to one another. Like if I seen him at the bar, I can sit down and have a drink with him. I can sit down, I even buy a round. That's where I'm at. But me and him being friends, calling and checking and see what his day was going like, you know what I'm saying? That'll probably never happen.
No interest.
No, not at all.
Next question. If you get a divorce, do you divorce the kids too? Or do you still claim them as your kids?
You claim them. My oldest is not my biological child, but I raised her since she was a year and a half, and she'll be 26 in November.
Right.
So I legally adopted her. So that's my baby. Now, when her and then I have my two youngest, well, not youngest, Victor would be 20 and then Jasmine's 11. So once we got a divorce, it was no way that I wasn't going to claim Ebony. Like when people ask me how many kids I had, I have 3 kids.
Right.
You know, and her and I, we're very close. You know what I mean? We meet up, we go drink wine every other Sunday, hang out, you know what I mean? So I don't think that that's right, because I feel like if you do divorce the kids, that you never loved them. You was just there because of the parent.
I'm the same way. That's why I be posting my kids and they be like, dang, Nick, how many kids you got? A lot.
Yeah, right.
A lot,
So,
because I love all of them. Hold on. Tanya, how would you feel about that situation?
You know, the thing of people, you know what? It's so prevalent today that when people go through a divorce or get a relationship breakup, they actually divorce the children.
That's crazy.
But this is prevalent within our society,
right.
And which I never understood, you know, because why are you divorcing the kids? The kids didn't put you together, nor did the kids break you apart. And so that was done on the recognizance of you and your partner or your husband or your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. But people actually do divorce the children as well.
They're some dumbass people.
As heartening as it is, you know, this is the world we live in.
Yeah. It's crazy because I am friends with, okay, I got 3 baby daddies, 1 rest in peace, 2 living, and I'm friends with their children's mom. Always have been. We always, and people trip off that. Like, how can you be friends with her? Because we're grown.
Well, Nicole, you've always done that. You've always been the responsible person. Who's to say if you didn't take that initiative step that they would have? You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? You've always been that type. Like, no, this is everyone. This is a group. This is a unit. So you've
Yeah.
always been that way. Even with the kid's dad or whatever. Um, Regardless what the situations were, whether you guys getting along at one time or if you weren't. So you've always been that way. So you've always made it easy, but that doesn't mean that the situation was easy when it came from the
True.
others. So yeah. So I've never had a problem with him. I had to reach out to him one time about my son, and once we got my son's mom and I got a divorce, I told her, I said, the only thing that I expect from you is
Mhm.
not to ever let that man put his hands on my child or yell at him. I said, they got a daddy. If you have a problem with little man, you call me. You don't put that man on him. And I've always told my daughter, my oldest daughter, and my son to respect that man in his house.
Mhm.
I told him, I said, he's going to change once they buy a house together,
Mhm.
opposed to him moving in with your mom. See, because this is not his home, so he has to tread lightly. And then they watched his movement, and then once he settled in, you know, she, I don't know if she ever told him that he has a green light to tell my son what to do, but my son felt like she did, because like he'd try to come down there and talk to the little man, and then like he can hear his mom at the top of the stairs just listening to the conversation.
Mhm.
And so I told my son, don't ever challenge a man unless you become one. And I told him, if he's talking to you and you don't have to be forced to sit there and talk to him. I go, you excuse yourself. You don't walk away being rude. You tell him, look, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I'm gonna just go ahead and excuse myself right now.
Right.
So that's what he did. So my son told him, I think you're being sarcastic with me. He was like, well, I'm not. He said, well, that's the way I feel. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this conversation. So he walks away, sees his mom upstairs, and she asked him what was wrong. And he said, I just looked at her and said, you know what's wrong.
Mhm.
So it was a couple different little incidents that I said, because me, I'm quick to go. So I said the first time it was like boom, and I said, no, be quick, back up. I'm gonna give him a couple more times, so that way when I talk to him, there's gonna be some ammo that I'm gonna hit him with. So my
Right.
son was sitting at the table, and I can tell he was kind of sad. So I asked him what happened, and he started talking, and then he started crying.
Mm.
So that lifted my level all the way up to 100. So
Mhm.
I asked him, I said, what happened? You tell me exactly word for word, so that way when I call him, he gonna understand.
Right.
So the little man told me what happened. I called dude on his phone, told him I need to holler at him, you
Mhm.
know, and I asked him, I said, well, can we meet
Mhm.
um, at a bar, have some drinks and whatever? So, and I said, I would appreciate if you don't tell your wife, because she's going to try to quarterback this whole incident. So he went back and told her anyway. She had an attitude with me. If you wanted to talk to him, you could have came to me. I said, this is man business. I don't have to talk to you. I said, when it comes to my son, I said, I've already given you the rundown. I don't have to talk to you no more. I'm talking to him.
Right.
So I called him again and I said, well, we're going to meet. He said, no. So I guess they didn't know what I wanted to talk to them about. I
Mhm.
guess she felt that I was going to drill him about what happened in the situation while we end up getting a divorce, right?
Mhm.
I don't care about all that. So I shot him both the group texts and I told him, I said, listen, bro, I'm not saying that you be an asshole to my son. I
Mhm.
go, but something has transpired in your household where my son is feeling uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And so I ran down a list of things and I told her, I said, listen, and the only thing I've asked you was not to have that man telling my son what to do. He has a daddy. And if you have a problem with Victor cleaning his room, you call me. If you have to talk to him more than one time, I'll make him clean it over the phone. And I'll stay on the phone with him until he cleaned it, right?
Right.
So that's what I ran it down. So I guess it was like, well, I guess he's not going to drill us about this situation. No, it was about my son's situation.
Right.
So, and then I put on that same text, I said, I understand that you probably told your man that I'm gonna set him up
Mhm.
and do him bad. I said, if I wanted him touched, he would have been touched a long time ago. I said, so it's not about that, it's about our kid. So I had to be careful what I was saying in my text because she already know the way I am.
I know
So
about my
yeah,
brother.
yeah. So he told me, he said, well, and I said, well, are we going to meet? He said, no, whatever you and her say, that's the way it's going to be. Well, that's the way it should have been. And now
Right.
if I was a deadbeat dad, if I was not active in my children's life, I can understand you trying to step in and discipline my son and trying to make him a better man. You understand? I understand that. But when he has an active father in his life, the only thing you need to do is say, hey, what's up, little man? That's it. You need a rib or a chicken or something. You ain't got to say nothing else to my kids on some discipline shit, you know.
Right.
So that was just the I think that situation of co-parenting, I think that she kind of forgot somewhere, because I think that she was trying to impress her dude by let you be a man type thing.
Right.
And not here. You can't do that. So we had a conversation. After that, it was done. He's never gotten smart with my son. He's never said anything. And
How
my
is your relationship with your son and him?
what? How is my son and his relationship?
Yeah.
They cool. They're cool. I asked my son, I said, does he still talk slick? He was like, nah. He said, he walked in, he said they actually have conversations. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I encourage my son to get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
I encourage that because I told him, if you're not happy there, you won't be there. So, my son, he ended up moving with me full time.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because he wasn't happy there. It was for the simple fact that he just wanted to be around his dad and learn other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just felt like it was it was a better place here. He fit a little better over here. And but now the guy, him and my son, they get along. My son hasn't said anything bad about him. Like I said, man, he's a nice dude. I mean, for what I gather, he's a
Right.
nice dude. Um, it ain't no issues with him and I. I mean, if it was an issue, you
I
already know
already
that. You
know.
already know how
I
it
already
goes. So
know.
I'm not tripping on anybody having an issue with me. But now, other than that, I mean, I think that is important for when you have um, relationships like that. I think that it's very important for you to teach your kids to respect their mother's significant other. I don't care if you like them or not. I don't care what your personal issue is with them. Encourage that. I encourage my oldest daughter to do it. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
And you
So
kind of touched the point that I was going to go on to next about co-parenting. If your child felt a certain way about the new spouse and felt uncomfortable, how would you handle that? And you, Vic, you like if people are dummies on here watching, he dumbed it down. So Tanya, how would you feel about that? Like if your ex-husband was remarried and your child, or let's say he had a girlfriend and your child um did not like going over there and felt uncomfortable, how would you handle that?
There has to be a reason why uh, she doesn't want to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
I am very observant, you
Mm-hmm.
know, just like when I knew that something was going on with Kalia
Mm-hmm.
and defecating on herself. I knew there was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with a young lady, this and that and the other, and she decided to tell me that she's a Christian, yada 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 yada. She loved my kids and this and that and the other. Well, the first thing that got me is when she said she was a Christian. I am a Christian myself as well,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes we use religion to try to captivate your heart.
Right.
Uh, so of course that's when the whole shebang kind of broke out, this and that and the other, and but um, and then of course I talked to the dad and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, my concerns. This is what she came home and said to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if she decides that she does not want to go over there no more, she always come home.
Right. But in the mix of that, if she's just said, or Vic, such as your kids, if they just said, well, I don't want to go over there because it's comfortable for them where they're at. Like if their home is home and now you're divorced and you want to go to you have to go to another place. So do you feel like the kid is telling you the truth about things? Or do you think that because they just know mom and dad, or do you think that they make up stuff to not
Kids are
go?
going to be kids. Kids are
Right.
going to be kids. And, but it has a lot to do with the other. You know, it can be the fact of they might treat their kids a little bit more special and not be patient with yours
Mhm.
because they feel that they have the right to do it because the mother or the father is not putting boundaries. Like if I ever remarried and the person had kids, I
Mhm.
would never yell at their kids. I would never make those kids feel unwanted.
Mhm.
They have a father, they have a mother. If I didn't like something the kids were doing, I would take it up with the mom and say, hey, you need to be a little bit more forceful over here, maybe a little lenient over here.
And what if she
Um,
got defensive with you about that because it was her kid?
right. I understand that because see, here's the situation. You know, I went through that many years with my ex and my oldest.
Mhm.
You know, it was a lot of wedges being placed in between. And the reason why I used to get pissed off is because I treated her like my child. Like it was love, discipline, help with homework. I potty trained her. I did all that stuff. So I'm daddy. I don't need to ask your permission to talk to her. I don't need your permission to whoop her ass. If she's out of bounds, I'm gonna whoop her ass.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So you want me to be the daddy, but you want to put certain levels on me. Well, it's not gonna happen because you told me when we got together it is a package deal because I love what women always say is a package deal. Okay, well, this is the whole package too. So
Right.
you better accept my package because this package come with everything. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So it's just, you know, it's challenging being a step parent. It
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
So I think that you need to separate your feelings from because you have to understand that they are kids, and it's a hard lesson, and we all go through it. You know, me and my oldest daughter, we used to battle. Like I mean, like it got to the point where I was locking the closet door from the damn towels because she couldn't disrespect the fact that you don't use a towel every day and leave it on the floor. You know what I mean? So I had to put I had more keys than a janitor around that damn house. So you didn't want to clean your room? Guess what I'll do? I'll lock your ass out of it. You don't want to clean it? I got a loft you can go sleep in. And guess what? You can go get your air mattress because you got a pretty ass room that I done painted up and you got surround, whatever you got in that room, you got everything. But you don't want to keep it clean. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to keep talking to you about it. I went there and put a lock on her door, locked her ass out her door.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I said, until you want to clean this room, you go sleep in the loft.
Right.
Now, her mother thought I was being extreme. I said, but how many times have you went in there and yelled at her? How many times have you did this? I said, I'm not going to keep yelling. I'm gonna just show you action. I'm not gonna keep talking to you. I
Mhm.
said, because I said, if my mother was alive, I said both of y'all would be in check.
Yeah.
Everybody been around here cooking gumbo, making macaroni and cheese, and all kind of shit. So um, I had to do like little stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then finally she got it. Like when she moved out, she was about 18 and a half when she moved out. She moved across the street from us in these condos. And I told her, we're never gonna be friends until you move out of my house.
That's it.
I straight up. And you know what? Like this now. You know what I mean? And she's made some stuff. I won't say it on here because I wouldn't want anybody outside of this to hear. But
Right.
she's given me a lot of flowers, a
Right.
lot,
Right.
and I
As much
respected it.
as, I mean, Vic, you my baby, you my brother. We've known each other since he's my play brother, Tanya. If you didn't know, I have known Vic since I was probably 17, 17,
17. Mhm.
and I'm 50. So,
Are
and
you?
shut up.
I'm only 25.
So he sent whatever. So in knowing my past, him and my biological brother Mickey are the two people that know. They raised me. They know like my caliber of men, the men I attract, and they're not always the positive ones, but I like them. That's just how. And they be on me like, sis, da 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 da. So I get a little dumbfounded in that, and I learn and I listen. And I've had a situation with my youngest son's father. Um, he got remarried and we did not get along in the beginning. We both talked messed about each other. People were saying things that we were saying about each other, and it got out of hand. Well, my son felt uncomfortable going over there, and I used to force it. Like, no, you're going to give her a chance, because me and her talked, me and the wife talked. And I was like, just give her a chance. And I just felt like he didn't want to go over there because he wanted mommy and daddy. I didn't understand it. And as time went on, I kept giving her chances and kept talking to her. Everything was cool. Like, I was trying with her. And then one day, December 19th of 2021 is a day I will never forget. And it was a day that, in my mind, Jesus was crucified on that cross. And sorry, but I felt like you cannot dictate to, like, me and him were trying to co-parent and trying to be civil at a certain extent. But you got this one in your ear that's like, he's disrespecting me, he's doing this, he's doing that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's 10. Why are you arguing with a 10-year-old? You're 40. So why would you even argue with a 10-year-old? So when I talked to my son about it, and he was telling me situations, and I was just like, okay, but I still was kind of pushing it, like, again, until December 19th is the day that I woke up. And the day that I woke up was the day that I feel I understood. Because I try to give my children, vibe with your father, vibe with, I understand that we didn't work out, but I won't negative talk about him in front of the children. Now, if I'm on the phone and they eavesdrop, I can't control that because I don't have a huge house. So I apologize for that. And I apologize to them for that. But it was a situation that was really crazy. And that's how I didn't really know how to handle the situation. And Vic, you know exactly, and Tanya, I think you know. But I feel so vibrant and blessed right now because I feel like I had an awakening on that day.
Right. I'm just going to put it out there.
Look,
since you always say, when you say I just dumbed it down, right? She just did the same thing. Anyway, I'm going to speak my truth about his ass. He's a soft ass nigga, period. He ain't got no balls when it come to that other bride. She need to stay in her lane. She act like that's her damn child. You know what I mean? And you ain't got no say so. I'm telling you what to do with your child, and then his dumb ass to do it. Then it cause conflict between him and sis. He ain't got no nuts. And to be honest with you, I told my sister when I first met him, I didn't really care too much about him, but I'm gonna support her, whoever that she decides to be with. But when I looked at him in his face and I looked at the way he got down, I walked away. Me and my best friend went over there to go see Nick.
boom.
And
Shout out.
Shout out to B-double-O-T. So I had said, what you think about him? And he said the same thing you do. Because he knew I wasn't feeling him. And I just said I didn't like the fact that he was staring the way he was looking at me, like me and sis had a moment one time. We ain't never had no moment in the 30-some years we've been doing it. She's dating one of my best friends. You know what I mean? So I just I didn't really care too much about him. And I felt that I think he was a shell of a man. I didn't think that he stood up on his own. And I think that my sis took care of his ass. And I just think that he had some demons that he needed to deal with. And then all of a sudden he runs to this one and she knows he's weak. So if a woman know you weak, she gonna run your ass. And she was running him and she caused some conflict. And I was telling sis, hey, look, do what you got to do. And then it got to the point because I don't never tell her until it really gets on my nerves. And then I'll tell her, look, well, this is what it is, da 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 da. And then I just lay it all on the line. And she'd be like, all right, bro. So he put himself in that situation, but they worked it out. And Nicole's a good mom, and hopefully that he can live up to her potential. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
not
because
my potential, but live up to his own potential. Like
know
I
your
feel
potential as a father.
right.
What he should be doing as a father without asking permission to be a man. And that's what he is. He asks for permission to be a man. And I don't feel like no man needs to ask permission to do anything about being a man, period. So,
True.
so
So damn, Vic. Speak your truth.
On the child because there's a jealousy in there. You know, I really want to get to you. I really want to get to the adult. So, but here's the child. So I'm gonna take it out on the, you know. So yeah, people
Yeah.
are like that.
that's very true. That is very true.
Man.
Some I don't want to go too far in people's business, but I talked to sis about that girl, and I think she was doing that. I told sis I think she's doing that, because she wants to run down on you to let you know, like, this is my man now, so I'm going to control him right now. So, and I know that your child is in the middle of that, but at the same time, it's too much energy. It's too much energy. I would not try to become that wedge in between the baby daddy. I told my ex-wife's ex, the one that she had my oldest daughter by. I told him, dude, you are more than willing. I mean, you are more than welcome to come over anytime. Just call us. Don't just pop up at my door. If you said, hey, can I come get her in an hour? If we're not doing anything, come get her all you want. And I just told him, I talked to him about his own daughter. I said, bro, just be consistent with her,
Right.
because you're in and out of her life and you're hurting this girl. And I told him, when I feel like you're hurting her, and I said, that's when I'm going to step in.
Right.
She called me daddy, and she called him Greg. And he didn't like that. Well, bro, I'm the one that raised her. You've been here and I don't have no problem. So my kid's mom I remember one time he had came over, knocked on the door. He popped up at her at the first house when he was, when she was like 3 years old. So the mom answers the door and says, what? And I knew it was him. So he was like, I just wanted to come see Ebony. So Ebony comes to the door and squeezes her little ass in between, the door and her hip. And he said, hi, Ebony. And she said, hi. She said, don't speak to strangers. Right? I got up from I got up from the couch. I got up from the couch, and I met him one time prior to that. So I got up from the couch and I moved Ebony out the way and I opened the door and I said, don't do that. I told her, don't do that. And I said, go sit down. I told her, I got it now. I said, man, go on, come in, bro. Because I've already met him previous to this one time. So gave him a dap. I said, man, go on, come in. So I closed the door. She sit up here huffing and puffing. I said, why don't you go to the room and calm down? Let's go to the room. I told her he's here to see his daughter. Well, I said, so what? He's here now. Let that man try to be a father right now. Just let him try. I said, because she has to understand who he is. So he came in, but granted, the brother was not consistent and it was starting to get on my damn nerves. So when they went out, he came and picked her up, and they already had a discussion of what not to talk about. When she called me daddy, when she left, she said, bye, daddy, and came and gave me a hug. So when they went out, he went to the movies, and she was like, yeah, my dad. And he was like, he's not your dad, I'm your dad. So he got all insecure on her, brought the baby back home, and the baby started crying. So now I called him and I said, it was nothing that you needed to be intimidated by. I've discussed this with her. I go, but now that you're starting to hurt her, now I'm going to step in. If you don't want to be here, I got her. I've been having her since she was a year and a half. And I said, you don't have to. I said, I explained to her that she has two fathers, two daddies. And I
Mhm.
made it look like it was a bonus thing because really it is. You know, you have a biological and then you have a bonus dad. I don't like using the word step. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
You have a bonus mom, a bonus dad, and that way the kids will look at it as a bonus, right?
Period.
So once that happened, I think he felt insecure because the way we were living, the way he's seen a family unit that he never had.
Mm.
So the insecurity started playing. But yeah, we had a conversation. So when you said that, Nicole, I forgot about that when you said about being friends. I told this dude when the mom was in school on Mondays, I told him, bro, Monday night football, I got the beer, come through, watch a game.
Right.
So when she took her ass to school at 5. The game starts at 5:30. He was over right when it seemed like he was staking out the house. And when she left, he knocked on the door. You know what I'm saying? So he avoided her at all costs. And I told him, I said, bro, the only thing she wants you to do is be consistent with your child, bro. I said, all that other shit that she talking about, the money, we ain't worried about you paying nothing. Don't worry about it. Just come and pick her up. You
Right.
know,
Right.
so
How is your relationship with him today?
he got murdered by the police.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, like it was like Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving. It was a while ago. It was like I want to say it was before I went to Iraq in '08. I think so. It was probably maybe '06, somewhere around there. But we were cool. Like I said, he came over. We got faded. You know, we ate. I even cooked. So him, and Ebony sat down at the table and eat together. And he seen one day he came to pick her up, and I was late getting up. So when he came in, I let him in and I went over there. I cooked her breakfast. You know, I always cook for my kids. I cooked her breakfast, ironed her clothes, did her hair and everything. He sat there
Mhm.
like he was like, look at this dude taking care of my seed. Now, if I was in there, if a man was cooking for my child, I would have got up and ironed her clothes because I brought down the ironing board, the clothes sitting right there. He didn't do anything because I guess he just didn't know.
Mhm.
So I ironed her clothes, cooked her, brushed her teeth, all that, did her hair. And I said, all right, man, just let me know when you're gonna bring her back. And I can see it in his face that it was a little intimidation there, but then I still welcomed him. And then he started bringing his wife over, and her and my oldest mom was pregnant at the same time. So his brother and sister, that's the same age, you know what I'm saying? So we all got to the point where they used to come over to the house and kick it,
Let
like
me
real
ask
shit.
you this. How do you feel about adopting? Okay, since he passed away, rest in peace. If she came to you and wanted you to adopt her, how would you feel about that?
I already adopted her when she was 9.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I legally adopted her because I don't know because it was back in '09. I had took vacation for Christmas because that was like the Christmas present. I would have did it earlier, but it was like a lot of expenses, right? Then when I went through my insurance, the mom checked the insurance on my insurance. The only thing we had to pay was $300 for the court fee. They paid everything else. So
mhm.
once we found that out, her
Speak.
mom had called me, huh?
I said, speak your truth. Go ahead.
So her mom had called me when I was in Iraq and said, hey, what do you think about adopting Ebony? I said, I don't think about it. I said, I'll do it. And she was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I said, all right. I said, whatever. I said, just check the price and see how much it costs. Now we got the money to do it, so it's whatever. So she checked my insurance, and she said they're going to pay for everything except for $300 court fees. So
Right.
I said, okay. So I made a point to come home around. Came home for Christmas that year. So
Mhm.
we went down, I think, on Victor's birthday, which is the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. We all went down there. The judge say, hey, you want to adopt her? I said, yeah. And then he asked her, you want this guy to be your father? She said, yeah. And he asked a couple questions. He said, hell, it looked like you guys are happy. I'm not going to stand in the way of this. Go enjoy your daddy. And it was just very simple. You understand what I'm saying? So
And
she's my baby.
and
Huh?
ha- and I love that. I love that about men. I love that. If you step in and take care of, and they look at you as the father and want that, like that's amazing to me. Now, if the father was alive and still in their position, then absolutely not. I feel like you could have two daddies. Um, Tanya, if you were to be in a relationship and you have two girls, Um, if you were to be in a relationship and let's say you guys ended up getting married and he had a son or a daughter, would you be willing to take on that responsibility and adopt her or him?
The thing about it is, if I yes, I would. I would. Let me. That's no thinking about it. Yes, most definitely I would, because they're a package deal. You know what I mean? I love this
Right.
man. I have to love his child.
Right.
Or well, I want to love his child.
Hmm.
So, and I'm a nurturing spirit anyway.
Right.
So definitely, most definitely,
Yeah.
I would adopt.
I love y'all for this. Like this is spiritual feeding to me. Um, I feel like I'm 100% at peace. I feel like it's sad because when you deal with different um exes and you have kids by them and you have to deal with other people, it's it's hard sometimes because they judge or it's envy or it's jealousy and it shouldn't be. None of that. Like
Right.
we're exes, so we have a kid. Like keep it moving. Like that's just what it is.
Some exes cannot let go, and some exes do not want to see you happy. You see, when you had that smile,
That
and and they can have everything that they heart desire, and if they see that you are happy and just spiritually, nah, you ain't supposed to be happy because you ain't with me.
man.
You understand what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be happy is because I'm better off. I'm doing excellent. I got this. I got that. Well, okay. I just wanted this little piece of the cake. I only because you get fat when you start eating too much cake. I'm trying to keep my sexy up. You know what I'm saying? I just want a little bit. I just want a little bit. I don't need too much. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you.
I hate you.
I'll tell you this about what Greg. I appreciate Greg the way that he handles little man. I appreciate the fact that he actually puts in some time, from what you tell me,
Mhm.
and little man got mad love for him. And especially as a son, as a boy, he needs that male figure in his life, you
Mhm.
know. And I feel that Greg is living up to the task from what I see and what you tell me.
Mhm.
Um, it doesn't look like it's a facade when I'm around.
Mhm.
You know, I'm gonna put my sister on blast right now.
Gosh,
You know,
damn.
hey, when I was down there, T, you know, it was a little sipping of the beer, and then my little sis, she kind of just got to, and I'm like, chill, and then it was like she was going in, and me and Greg looking like he looking at me, and I'm looking at him like, oh, sis about to go in there, and so she just blew and dropped the whole load. So I'm like, oh shit, she gonna do this with me right now, cause I got my brother here. Now I'm about to boss the fuck up, and she did. And and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at G. And G just over there, he just showing me his little equipment, he DJing, and he's like he had a look on his face like, how did we get here? But we here now. He looked like, how did we get here? So I gave him
He handled it like a boss.
right. I gave him my my perspective of it. And then I told sis, well, maybe you shouldn't do A, B, and C. And she was like, yeah, but no, it ain't no but. Don't do that. Okay. And then I told G, hey, you need to clean up the streets. You know what I'm saying? You got some loose paperwork around the street. Clean that shit up. So when Nicole went to bed, Greg and I pulled up. I told Greg, I said, hey, look, I don't know if he told you this. I pulled him up. I said, listen, bro, just because she's my sister, that does not mean I'm going to agree with her. Did he tell you that?
Mm-hmm. He did.
I said, I'm not going to agree with her all the time. I go, but it's some shit that what she's saying is she has a point. Stop letting the woman get a point of the knife because they're going to stick it in your ass fast as hell.
All the way
Don't
in.
get,
Twist
don't
it.
give no ammo. Don't if your ass don't want to get shot, don't you put no bullets in that gun for that woman to shoot your ass with. Let her just shoot it. Just let it go click, 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 click. That's it. Don't let it go bang.
Look,
'Cause when it
okay,
go,
we get way off topic, and he's like, put my brother. Oh,
no, I'm just saying
love it to death.
as
Speak your
Greg,
truth. Speak your truth.
as Greg doing a good job with nephew. That's all I was saying, and I feel like I think that he's been doing a really good job with him. You know, he's been happy every time I see him.
Mhm.
And it just seemed like Greg is putting in the work. And that's what I like about it. You know, he's an older cat, and I think that he knows what to do with Ronell, even if he have to get in his ass every once in a while. You just have to allow that to happen when baby boy is out of line. Period. So
I'm working on it.
okay.
Okay. All right, y'all. What'd you say,
About
Tanya? Huh?
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
The older Vic said he's an older cat. What's that?
Because he's older than us.
Oh, so that makes
Well, when I say older cat, because I'm 51. So when I say older, that means my age or older, because some men just don't get it. Even at our age, they don't get it. But I think that he gets it. You know, when it comes to having a bonus son, I think he gets it. Because if you didn't, sis wouldn't be with him, and that's one thing I already know about this girl here. Her cutoff game is mean as hell. So
Why you gotta put me on blast like that? I know you speaking your truth, but damn.
The truth. You tell me, hey, tell me where the lie is at. Tell me where the lie is at.
Look, but I don't leave the kids. I love you, Brandon. I love you, Anisha. I love Brittany. I love my grandbabies. No, I'm just playing. I love you. Like,
yeah, it's all good.
We good.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we got a chance because, you know, it's very important for a lot of people to know that, like, when you marry someone, you have to marry their children, you know. And I just, you know, if I ever get to that point in my life to where I'm getting married again, I'm going to set my rules down. This is how I'm going to handle this situation. So me and you, we have to sit back and talk about it, because my ex and I, we completely ran the kids a different way. It was like, she wants to be the best mom, the best friend. I'm daddy. I go to work all day, working 115-degree weather. I ain't got time to be playing with y'all. When I get home,
you're not the friend. You're not their friend. The difference is you're not their friend. You're their dad.
Right, and I explained that. I explained that to my son. I explained that to my daughter. My son and I, well, all my kids I'm really close to. Victor is my mini me. It's just the boy, he moves like me. You know, he has all
No, don't say that. No, I'm just playing.
No, he moves. He has all the better parts of me.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any of my bad parts, and I'm so grateful for that. He
don't have the 90th Aero Squadron. You don't have the minister.
He's Victor's he's a gentleman. I teach him how to be a gentleman. The only thing that he's lacking, I've been trying to get his ass in his kitchen to cook. I said, because boy, once you learn how to cook, I said, you know, you're gonna be a hell of a man growing up, because he take care of his business and everything. So I just told him, I said, look, I'm gonna tell you like my mother told me, I'm gonna teach you how to do everything except have a baby. Everything a woman can do. You already know, Nick, we don't need no women around here. It'd be nice, you know, to get some home cooked meal every once in a while. It'd be nice, but we don't need it, you know. So, but no, just trying to teach him how to be a great man. You know, he's on his way. He's doing his job. You know, school, working full time, going to school full time. I couldn't ask for a better son. I just couldn't. You know what I mean? If I did, I'd be selfish.
Little Vic is awesome. Little Vic is awesome. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. So
he tall, skinny, just like when I met Vic.
Right.
When I was 16, he tall, skinny like him. So continue teaching him the right Vic.
Oh yeah, you know, I told him, hey, but you know, sometimes I got to get a little tight with him because he's going through a little situation right now.
We're
And
not gonna talk about his
no,
situation.
no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no. I'm just saying he's going through a little situation, and he talked to me about it, and I gave him the soft version.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, listen, whatever decision you decide to make, I got your back. And he go, what would you do? And I just started laughing at him.
Don't ask your daddy that, Lil Vic. Show him this video. Lil Vic, call me. Love you, nephew.
Well, you know, hey, he listened, so he had on it like a little young boss. You know, I can't complain, but he had on like a little boss. But that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate y'all. Tanya, do you have anything you want to say to this subject?
I don't. I totally agree with some of the things you guys were saying.
Yeah.
Most of you guys were saying. So
Yeah. What are some things you don't agree with?
don't ask me that. I said all. I agree with all.
And then she said, most of it.
Some of the things you get.
Speak your truth.
Some things like that, but no, I totally agree. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. You know, I do believe that there should be, you know, discipline in the home. You know, and that spouse that he marries or she married should be able to discipline that child. It depends on
Do you believe in
what
spanking them or
no
just talking to them?
to them, taking video games away from them, cell phone or whatever the case. That you know, but far as putting your hands on them, no.
If someone puts their hands on my kids, I fight. That's just me.
So you have to have some ground rules as well, even with the children.
It's boundaries,
You
and
know,
that's communication between you and that person. Communicate that and say, look, I didn't have to spank my kids or hit my kids. I gave them a look. I spoke to them, but you put your hands on my kids, we got a problem because my kids are almost 30, 23, and 11. I never had to put hands on them. Yeah, I did the whole backhand, slap hand, smack like that, but I never had to put hands on them. So if you can't do it like that, then we got a problem. But that's just me. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic.
Vic, where does he go?
Hmm?
Restroom?
Probably.
I don't see his video.
Yeah, there you go. All right, y'all. This was a great talk.
I was at that text.
I really feel like a lot of people need to hear a male's perspective and a female's perspective of befriending exes and co-parenting. I think that's, it was a good topic, even though Vic spoke his whole damn truth. Love you, brother.
I didn't like a clear understanding. I want to have a clear understanding when you're dealing with me.
Damn. Clear. No, I'm just playing. It was good. It was good. I appreciate y'all. If you want Vic on here, he's no cutthroat. He tells truth. That's my confidant, even though he blasted me to the world, which is okay because he told the truth. That is the
I didn't
truth.
give it all up. I didn't.
I appreciate y'all. Tanya?
The truth.
Yes, he does. He does speak his truth for sure. Yes.
Well, ladies, it was my pleasure. Tanya, it was my pleasure meeting you, Miss Wade. I got a 2:00 appointment in the AM.
Yes, I love
my eyes
y'all.
Is red.
Go get some vitamin and get some sleep. I love y'all. Until next time, y'all join in Lust. Let us speak truth. Speak your truth on YouTube. I love y'all. Thank you. And good night.
All right.